Principles of Design. What creates unity in this picture? Unity is a sense of cohesiveness, of feeling that all the parts of something belong or work together. There are many ways to create unity in a work of art. A dominant theme or idea, a texture or repeated color, line, or shape. Similar marks create unity through repetition. Unity is created through overall color and similarity of organic shapes in this example. Variety generally accompanies unity in a work of art. It adds visual interest by giving the eye different things to focus on. Artists create variety by including shapes, textures, lines, and many shapes and/or contrasting colors. There are three types of balance in art: symmetrical, asymmetrical, radial. Symmetrical balance occurs when one side of an object or painting is identical to the other side. Asymmetrical balance is when the two sides are balanced but different. Large objects on one side balance a group of smaller objects on the other side. You can see that the line of symmetry is here, and the woman on this side, in darker colors, balances out the baby in lighter colors. Radial balance. When a design exhibits radial balance, its parts spread out from the center. The spokes of a wheel are radial balance. Radial balance is also symmetrical and often produces a graceful rhythm or a sense of turning. Objects can have radial balance and be symmetrical. They cannot be asymmetrical and be radial. Contrast creates interest. In an artwork, a strong contrast of light and dark will draw a viewer into a particular place in an artwork, as will contrasts of rough and smooth areas, warm and cool areas, straight and curved lines, or plain and patterned areas. Think of contrast as the yin and yang. Hue contrast refers to the contrast between different colors on the color wheel. It is independent of value and saturation, though they often play a part. Colors which are on opposite sides of the color wheel have a strong contrast. These are referred to as complementary colors. Complementary colors are found directly across from each other. Vincent van Gogh relied heavily on hue contrast, using sharp jumps between complementary colors to create a stunning effect. Artists use emphasis to create a center of interest, the part of the work that they want the viewer to notice first. Sometimes an artist chooses to emphasize a single element of design to create a center of interest. Sometimes the artist separates the center of interest from its surroundings, makes it the largest object, or places it in the center of the composition. In any work of art, many elements and principles work together, but almost every successful work emphasizes something. If you look at this artwork on the slide, you should notice that you will see this face and this large body here first. Those are what the artist has chosen to emphasize. What about in this work by Claude Monet? If you said the area of the sun and the reflection, you are correct. What about this artwork? Where is the emphasis in this painting? If you said the rose, you are correct. An element of an artwork that is repeated over and over is called pattern. In an artwork, artists can use various patterns to decorate shapes or to add texture to the entire surface. Or he or she may add a pattern to a small area to add visual interest or create contrast. Proportion. Proportion is the relative size of one thing compared to the size of something else. In the paintings below, compare the proportion of the objects in one painting with one another. Do the proportions seem correct? Do the proportions of these people seem correct? Or has the artist chosen to emphasize something? What about the dogs playing cards? In this work by René Magritte has created a surreal picture simply by manipulating the proportions of common objects. There are no clues that tell us if we are in a normal-sized room or a dollhouse. You can see that in this room has a giant cup, giant comb, and a brush. The objects in this are much larger than the bed or the wardrobe. Andrew Wyeth has used proportion very differently. The small farmhouse back here against the largeness of the field and the woman create a sense of isolation. Movement. Movement in a work of art may be the course that a viewer's eye takes as it moves across the surface, moving from color to color, shape to shape, or value to value. The eye traces a path around the picture. In this artwork, the painting Spanish Dancer illustrates implied movement. The dancer's head is not centered over her feet. The orientation of the head and feet tell the viewer that she is in motion while dancing. You can see the artist has chosen to put her head much further over than where her actual feet are. Rhythm is a pattern of movement caused by colors, shapes, values, lines that occur in organized repetition. If the size, shape, or color of the repeated components are the same, and the distance between them remains constant, the rhythm is predictable and may even be boring. This is the type of rhythm you could find on wrapping paper or wallpaper. To add variety and visual excitement, an artist may change the size, color, or shape of the repeated components or vary the space between them. Visual rhythm, like musical rhythm, music can be created through a pattern of sound and silence. Visual rhythm can be created through a pattern of figure and ground. Rhythm does not require exactness. It may have regular or periodic changes in size, color, texture, shape. Visual rhythm will generally follow a path of arranged shapes. The path may be regular or irregular. And you can see that in this example of this sculpture, that the python and the athlete are an example of rhythm and movement. So now you can take your elements of art and follow the principles of design that you've just learned about in order to mix up some of your own art. Remember to think of it this way. Elements are your ingredients. Principles are the recipe. Or think of it this way. Elements are your Legos. Principles are the directions to put together your Lego set. And the final piece that you create with your Legos is your artwork. Now you know about the principles of design.